Hello and welcome to another installment of Comparative Reasoning. I'm your host, Cedric Kennedy, and I'll be talking about being a trans ally against allies. This is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, but honestly very nervous and borderline scared. And there's a reason for this. Okay, there's a quote that I have on my wrestling Discord server that says, "Accountability is the enemy of all bullshit." And that's kind of what leads me to this. Holding somebody accountable is the absolute worst thing you can do. And that's what always gets me in trouble. That's what gets me hated. That's why people technically don't like me, because I will hold them accountable for what they do and say. No more, no less. And I hold myself accountable for what I do and say. So this will come at, and here's the thing, this is blanketed, but there is a trigger, a cause, an effect, a reason why this subject is here. By now, everyone should know that listens to me know how I feel about transgender, trans people. You know how I feel. If you don't, then I guess you're about to find out right now. But this also comes in lieu of against someone that I think is, for the most part, trying to do the right thing and come from a good place. And that's YouTube channel The Portal. And yeah, I do suggest you check The Portal out. I do. It's just in this topic, he fails miserably, horribly, grossly. He fails. And I'm not going to go over every single iota thing that he said, because I was in there and I put my thing up there. I said my thing and it turned into a one-sided conversation. And he's telling me to, he tried to shame me into being on his point of view of it. If you're logical, use common sense. The very things that he wasn't doing or being. He wasn't being logical. He wasn't using common sense. He wasn't. Now, the topic goes on every other transphobe's rhetoric. So he considers transgender people, well, if you're going to be a transgender woman, so you go from man to woman, that they're men. Just they're men. He also goes on the rhetoric of, well, it's just identity. I identify myself as a woman, so. And he uses that, like, he uses the idea, the analogy. It's just an analogy. It's not, he's saying he do it. It's an analogy. It's made up. It's fictional. He's saying, beating his wife. Cops come in there and he puts on the wig and just say, I identify myself as a female, so this is okay. That level of ignorance is why we can't have nice things. That level of ignorance is the same level of ignorance white people use to say, well, if you put a black man in a suit, give him a job, it's still a monkey on the job. And a monkey can't do what a human can do. That's why black people in business, they was always behind their back saying that they were in a monkey suit. That's why. So for him to say the things that he was saying, honestly, my blood boiled. I was angry. Because he wants to use the same segregation against transgender that white people used for black people. Black people are naturally stronger because they're violent and stuff. So they can't be in the same competitive areas as white people. He wants to segregate that. I'm not spinning anything. You can go and I'll try to find it and you can link to it. I'll try to timestamp when it all begins too. I'm gonna do that before I upload this. I'm gonna try. Hopefully he doesn't take it down. Look, trans people. Let's just. He said I'm gonna try to go little by little. So he talks about identify. first they must identify. It's bad enough that basically the mind of a woman trapped in the body of a man. How are you going to rectify that? And there's vice versa. What they see in the mirror does not match what they think, how they feel, what they think they should be going through. When they watch their friends and relatives grow up going through things and they're like, I'm missing that. It ain't a jealousy. It's not an envy. It's, I should be going through that. And they feel messed up. That's what they go through. They gotta grow up with this. And so, yeah, they start to go through changes. So identification is never just, I identify as this or that, so ergo I must be. No, it starts with identification and being the thing that you can't understand. And it's not just the portal, this is blanketed. In general, for everyone that thinks this way, they need to be comfortable feeling that way. Are you comfortable being who you are, where you are? If you're white, you're comfortable anywhere. If you're black, you are not comfortable everywhere. There's a difference. If you're, Hispanic, if you're Asian, Islander, you can't be comfortable everywhere. You can be white and comfortable in a hateful black neighborhood. You can't be black and be comfortable in your own neighborhood. You all right. You gotta make treaties with others. So imagine when you identify as female and you start going through the changes and you want to be a part of not a black neighborhood, not a white neighborhood, not a Hispanic, not an Asian, not a Middle Eastern neighborhood. You just want to be somewhere to get done what you got to get done and get back home. But they can't see that. They say you was a transgender and they look at you and they're trying to figure it out. That's first and foremost. The more of a female you look like, they're going to start trying to figure it out. And then if they figure out, oh, you must be transgender, then they're going to physically assault you. That's what's messed up. The police will beat down black people with no problem, and other minorities. But those same minorities will beat down a transgender and the majority. Everyone beat down on the transgender. They're just a person trying to make it. Transgender people prove that we don't deserve a second chance at life if we ever had one. Because all they're trying to do is make it and you trying to hurt them. He talks about, well, my daughter is on the wrestling team or any team or basketball or any competitive sport and there's a transgender, then it's not fair. It's unmatched. His mindset comes from, it's a full-on boy. Full-fledged boy in a wig saying, I identify as a female. That's his ignorance. That's his level. That's downright gross to think that way, because that's not how it is. If you actually do a little research, compare and contrast, think logically, use some common goddamn sense, you would know any boy on a team is not going to go against a girl unless that girl joins that boy's team. And they go through every single thing to make sure this is going to be fair or as fair as possible. And just to let you know, I know of a female that's competed in the wrestling area against boys her size, slightly smaller, slightly larger, sometimes far larger, and she beat them. Beat them or tie. Under his rhetoric of the greatest female in a fight, well trained, could never beat the weakest male that's a fighter. That's what he said. That's not true. You could train me up from here for a year. Be in shape, be ripped, fast, powerful. I doubt I beat the female Chris Cyborg. I'll be honest with you, I doubt it. There's a lot of dudes that are MMA fighters that would be in her weight class that won't beat her, period. They just won't. There's a lot that most likely, most of them will beat her. But there's a lot that won't. That's what happens. He talked about now I'm gonna butcher the name because I don't. Usain Bolt, I think. African, sprinter, Olympics, fastest man on the planet. He talked about putting him in the wig and then him identifying as a female. Then how's that gonna be fair if he competes with the females? That's his mindset on this. That's gross. That's nasty. How could you be that way? Let me explain something. Okay? Let me explain something. These transgender people, not only do they got to go through the identification, but then they have to go through hormonal replacement. They're going to lose muscle mass. They go through surgeries. A transgender female, from male to female, that muscle mass dropped, gone, done. Forget it. Replaced by estrogen. He thinks they keep all the testosterone. It's replaced. The voice augments due to this. Their bodies develop far more collagen. Females got 5% more of that than males, which is why they appear to be and are in a comparative soft and a little jiggly here and there. We don't have it. So basically, you want to think about anything, take a mesh net and dry it out of any iota of moisture. There you go. That's a dude. Add some moisture. You got a female. Just a little bit, not much. Just for it to bend just a little bit. You ever been up kicked by a female? I haven't. Seen it done. Brutal. Much stronger than the guy's up kick. Just saying. Throwing that out there. But females got to go through this. My bad. Males got to go through this to become female. See, to me, once they transgender to a female, I don't see a transgender. I see a female. So I just think female. And I gotta. So, okay. Once the male loses everything, whether they get rid of, the genitalia, whether they go through that reconstructive surgery or not, it don't even matter to me. It don't matter. And it shouldn't matter to anyone. Literally, it should not matter. It shouldn't even be part of the conversation. They go through everything, change everything, but they keep that. It is what it is. It is what it is. They keep what they want to keep. They get rid of what they want to get rid of. You can't judge anyone for that. That's their body. That's their thing. They want to be full on post-op. That's them. Still a woman. Still a woman. And you can say it's not a real woman. No, it's a real woman. That's a real woman. And if you want to go with if you want to be one of those nasty-minded women or men out there that says the whole thing of, and yeah, I'm doing the whole judging thing. I'm going to shame you because it's wrong for you to hurt a whole type of people just because you don't like it because someone told you not to. They have to go through this. You don't. Okay, I'm gonna try to switch gears. They have to go through this. You don't. So when you say they're not real, you got to think about all those that sort of befit them, that were naturally born that gender, that sex, that person. So the females that are born that can't reproduce, are they fake females? The females that have to have a hysterectomy, are they no longer female? Are they trying to be men? They remove their uterus, obviously, to live. Some just don't want to have children anymore. Some are trapped in a relationship with a man they hate and they will never get out of it, so they get one done just to deny that person a legacy, with them anyway. These things have happened. If a guy has sperm that just can't live outside of his body, no matter what, they just die. Is he not a man? Is he not a real man? You know, if a guy doesn't have ripped muscles, is he not a man? I don't have ripped muscles, but you would call me a guy, wouldn't you? You know, I mean, let me tell you how nasty this is. There are people that thought my daughter was a boy because she wasn't wearing pink. I can't tell because, you know, she's not wearing pink. I had to walk away because all I had was brutal vitriol that was going to spew at that person. That, I mean, this is gross to treat people this way. And to me, I see it no different. Someone becoming trans is no different than you deciding to wear a different style of clothing, cut your hair a different way. It's a choice. It is. The difference is the severity of that choice. Your hair grows back, you can do what you wish. It is what it is. Change your style of clothes every single week. These people are making a choice. They are one gender trapped in the body of another. They're a female trapped in a male, or a male trapped in a female. And they have to sit there and make the choice to go through debt generating surgeries and a whole new lifestyle for a long time to become the other gender. That's a lot. I can't even imagine some of the PTSD that some go through with that. And I can only wish to have that level of joy that others experience once it's complete and they're like, I am finally me. I can't see how anyone can just be that way and think about transgender the way they do. Black people want the right to vote. They want to be equal to their white counterparts. Women want the right to vote. They want to be equal to their male counterparts. We got people that just want to be what they feel in their head. They want to match who they are inside. And we demonize and hurt them and then take away basic, decent human rights. Just because, one, the Bible says, two, the way your friends would feel or the way they've talked about it. Where is your own autonomy? Where is your own, you know what, man, I don't know about doing that to them because the way we talk about our people suffering and we want this and that for our people, whether it's any minority. We want this equality. We want to be treated with respect. How can we deny this to others? Where's your decency? You know, where is it? And like I told the portal, the way you talking and what you saying, it's not a deal breaker. I ain't going to leave the channel for it, but this ain't right. You know, and he's telling me to think about it logically. When he thinks all it is just some guy putting on a wig saying I identify as a woman. That's anyone that thinks like that, there's something wrong with you in that area. Not overall, I'm not judging your overall character. I'm not that weak. But there's something wrong with you in that area. And you need to get that worked on. You need to really sit down and think about stuff. Do a little research. Because I'm going to tell you, when it comes to sports, transgender women brutally underperform to their cis counterpart. They really underperform. You might want to get some research, all right? Because I haven't heard of too many transgenders that just blow their, colleagues out the water. Their cis colleagues. I ain't heard it. I haven't heard it yet. Haven't seen it. MMA fighters that are transgender get knocked out, owned, submitted, tapped out left and right. Sprinters and runners getting dusted all day, every day, but they keep trying. And then you harken back to 1950s or 40s or 60s, where this dude basically, transgendered and then he won. He did his thing, did the best he could. He won, and not even by much. I think that's all that people can go on. One incident before there was actual hormone replacement and things like actual broken down. We got it to a science and know what we're doing and how we're going to do it and what to expect. It was archaic back then. And if you want to keep using that, then I suggest when you get a headache, a migraine, you tell the doctor to take a spike and a hammer to your temple and drain out the demons. Try doing that. See, because that's how it used to be. So, man, be better, people. Be better. This is being a trans ally against allies. And look, the portal. Let me clear something up. Yeah, he thinks that they, I think he said that trans rights is something that there should be, and he don't want them hurt or nothing like that. But he views a trans woman as a full-on man, and that's just. I've seen a few transgender females getting beat down by women. Seen one-on-one fight where this woman got her ass whooped. Needlessly, unprovoked. I've seen these things, and I'm sure you've seen them. And if you haven't, do some research. Look on YouTube. Transgender woman get hurt, get fought, get killed. They're just trying to make it. Go to the store. Now, in closing, I don't sit here and have this craziness where I think because you're transgender, then you're okay, or you're just some piece of greatness. That's not me at all. I don't think that. I won't think that. I don't do that appeal to anything like that. Transgender people can be just as messed up as their counterparts, compatriots, compadres, whichever. Okay? Everyone has their own brain, and we have proven we don't want to use that too much. They're no different. When it comes to social situations and whatnot of decency, they deserve equality. And no, that doesn't mean an equal ass whooping. That means to be treated the way you want to be treated, with respect, with decency, given a fair chance, to be understood, to be validated for your issues and your situations, to get that shot at getting the rewards and riches and things like that you would like to have. And if you think that they shouldn't have what you have, the rights and freedoms that you have, just because of what they have to do, and or some cases choose to do, then you might as well just be a Confederate, because that is that staunch, stalwart, unforgiving, unyielding mindset. You might as well be in the Confederacy and just, blacks are blacks and they just evil. They should be in the fields working for us, working for the man. Just throwing that out there. If this land, you teach your children, hey, look, parents, aunties, uncles, cousins, nephews, anybody that is roughly 17 and up, you have your children, you tell them that line, you can be whatever you want to be if you work hard at it. You tell them you can be whatever you want, but you just can't be what we don't want you to be. Might as well just keep it real. Keep it real with them. Don't be gay, don't be lesbian, don't be trans. You know, look at your children. If you're a minority, you know, it's bad enough you're naming them white names anyway. Tell them, look, we want you to be white so you can fit in properly with society. Let them know. If you black, look at your black children. They're like, look, we're gonna buy you, you know, white dolls and watch all the white shows that we can, and make sure that you change your dialect and all this other stuff so you can be as white as possible. Now we just got to work on your skin tone. You know, maybe we can, you know, find some way to force, you know, vitiligo on you, and then we got to get surgery on your nose and, you know, put some blue contacts in, or some light brown ones. But you know, you want to fit in properly. You got to be white. You know, you can trans to another race, just can't trans to another gender. You let them know that. Let them know the evils that you are, that this world is. Instead of changing the world to be decent, just make sure you oppress them to accept the evils of it. And this is why I can't have friends, because I'm honest. And I want you to be honest. I'll trust that dude that says he's going to kill me more than that dude that says, hey man, I got your back, and smiling. Take that with what you will. And yeah, I did another video, say some nice stuff from my previous video. But yeah, this has been Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.